Welcome to the Mind Games podcast. I hope everyone's had a great Christmas and I want to wish everyone a happy new year. First things first, guys, just want to thank everyone. Thank everyone that's viewed the product, viewed the podcast, everyone who's liked, commented, subscribed to the channel. A big thank you to all my massive guests. I couldn't have done it without any of them, obviously. Massive thank you to the two studios that allowed me to utilise their facilities. A big thank you to my producers. This essentially, guys, is a best bits. It's not just a funny bit from each episode. It's probably my favourite piece from each episode. So we've put together a best bits of the year. This is a conclusion of season 1 and a conclusion of 2025. Season 2 is coming in 2026 with a massive guest to kick that off next week, and we're going to hit the ground running. So thank you to everyone. Enjoy this episode of the best bits of all 15 of season 1, and we'll see you for season 2. Cheers.
In terms of, I guess, how you want to be remembered, both in Canberra and as a footy player?
Yeah, and a player that everyone wanted to play with, mate. Like generally when I go into training, I'm so happy. Like I'll pinch myself that I'm playing in the NRL. I get to do this for a living. Like, I get in there like happy as like I'm never sad. Like,
It's the boy living out his dream, eh?
Yeah, you're living your dream, man. And you pinch yourself like go back to my parents, because they've obviously been a massive part of me. If they could get up at 4 o'clock in the morning to go to a job that they probably didn't like, like who am I to go? Like, it sometimes shits me when you see people come into training like, oh, I've got to do this and that. I should be like, man, this is what we've got to do.
Cool
like,
mentality.
Probably when we're doing the beep test or something like that, you're a little bit like, you enjoy that sort of stuff, and like it's playing footy is like, it honestly makes me so happy, and like it just winning games of footy, going out there with your teammates that you build this bond with, and that camaraderie, everything about it. Like, I grew up with brothers, so it's such a boys' environment. Like, we're all like, it's just the best. Like, so I love playing footy. I'll just keep going in there with a smile on my face every day, but also having that edge that we're chasing something, and having that steely-eyed focus on something that we want to achieve, and enjoying it along the way, which is probably the main part. But having that goal and having that ambition to go out and chase something. So it's exciting, man. Like, it's pretty exciting time of the season, and I'm so happy to do it with this group of boys that we're with right now. We're really, really tight down there, so I'm excited for us and what we can achieve.
I love that.
2020 maybe.
Okay, so 2020 you had just a little bit of spare cash lying around.
Yeah.
Talk us through this.
So the client that I told you about, the one that was making millions, he started getting into the Bitcoin at the time, and he was like, you should do it. And I was like, oh, it seems risky and all that stuff. And anyway, he's like, no, it's safe as houses. Like, it's pretty cheap now. It's going to go to the moon. This was before anyone was doing it. And he said, I've got all my money there if it makes you feel any better. So I was like, all right, cool. So I had a measly little 600 grand laying around. So I just
say it a bit louder.
I put that. It was in the bank, and I just.
How do you have that laying around?
Yeah, like I said, I just don't
bills.
spend money. Yeah, I was just making money. I mean, I probably still had to pay some tax and stuff. Like, at the end of the quarter, you've got more than you should, and then you got to pay 50 grand bass. But anyway, I had the money there, and I moved it into a platform called FTX, and bought some Bitcoin with it. I think I had 8 Bitcoin, 100 grand of Solana, and then some Ethereum. And it was just sitting there. It was just like my investment thing. I was like, if it's going to sit in the bank, it might as well sit on this platform and be held in Bitcoin. And it was all going smoothly. It started dropping a lot, to be honest. It was already like halved. So my investment was like 350 or 300 at the time. And then, woke up and he sent me a message. He's like, oh, did you check FTX? Can you log in? Tried to log in, couldn't. Then it came up on the news. Some fuckwits embezzled $9 billion through FTX. So they shut the whole platform down. You haven't been able to log in since, and they're trying to get the money back. So, long story short, what was originally a $650,000 investment on a platform, the platform is now just you can't log into it. So that was gone. But I've always just had this hope that I'd get it back for some reason. Like normally you don't get your money back on these type of
So
scams.
it taught me through. Give me an idea of when you go try to log in on the platform, and then you look on the news and see that this bloke's stolen $9 billion. What talk me through? What's your mindset here? You just like, nah, this can't be true, or like, what are you thinking?
I think I just pestered my mate Jesse through text messages and phone calls. Like, what does this mean for us? And he must have calmed me down a bit. He's like, look, it'll work out. You know, ideally. And everyone that I speak to now calls me an idiot because you're meant to put them on cold wallets.
Yeah.
I didn't know that was a thing, and I fucking lose everything. So I can't go to the shops without losing a phone.
Yeah.
So I'm not going to put my life saving on a USB.
Yeah.
I'd rather blame some other dickhead.
Well, don't worry. I've probably got a worse story than that. Or it's not actually. No, it's not worse. It's absolutely not worse. But 2014, I was working at my parents' own athlete's foot store. I was working in the store. Some bloke comes in and starts telling us about this thing that's, it's going to be the next Bitcoin. It was called Dogecoin.
Oh, yeah?
So I bought $150 worth, thinking, oh, yeah, like whatever, who cares? $150, don't care. Sort of bought it on the work computer, like didn't really understand how the wallets worked or anything. Didn't even really, just sort of like transferred $150 to something and just sort of, oh, yeah, I can see the numbers on the screen. Gets to 2020 or whatever year it was, Dogecoin goes to the moon. Thanks, Elon Musk. That $150 at one point was worth $1 million.
Really?
I can't get it. It's gone.
Really?
Yeah, it's
Can't
gone.
log in?
Nah. Well, I don't know. I bought it on the work computer. Didn't really buy it. It's still there. Like if I type in I've got the wallet code and stuff. If I type it, it's still there. But I've asked numerous people about it, and it's not worth that much anymore. But yeah, it got to about $1 million at one stage, which is an absolute stitch up. I would be sitting here, but I'd be doing different things in my life. Yeah. But yeah, so interesting. We've all had our crypto story, hey?
Yeah, I think everyone's got a crypto story.
But okay, so like you've just done your ass. You've just done 600K. Is there an update to the story? Like he's in jail with P Diddy, I think, isn't he?
Yeah, they're cellmates together.
That's hilarious.
That's so crazy. Are they actually?
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. That's crazy. I just made that up.
Yeah. Oh,
I didn't know that.
I'm pretty sure. Someone told me that the other day.
I'm like, yeah, what?
Yeah, they are. Yeah.
They are.
100% they're cellmates.
Just got thumbs up.
That's hilarious.
That's funny. Yeah, so he's in jail. They found a lot of it because that's
what I was going to say. How do you spend $9 billion?
Yeah, I don't know what he was doing. I don't think he spent it. It's all through loopholes. Like obviously they're smarter than us, so they know what they're doing to steal money. But he got caught. So the good news is they found a lot of the assets. So they found a lot of the Bitcoin, and because Bitcoin's gone up so much in value since then, they're now able to pay a lot of it back. So we should be getting maybe 250 to 300 grand back, which is quite nice.
Okay. But it's annoying because it's probably worth 4 million.
Yeah, I think it is worth close to 2 million. So if you wanted to count how much that is, the sunken cost or whatever, but I try not to think about that too often.
They just make more. It's fine.
Just make more. And
that's
it was
the mentality.
It took me a while to tell Asha because I was pretty nervous. Not that we weren't married or anything at the time, but we were sort of serious and we weren't sharing banks, so it didn't really bother her, but it was sort of our future, right? Like it was our nest egg and could buy a nice house with it if it was all going well. And I had to tell her, I was like, oh, babe, just let you know, just lost some money over the weekend. And
she's probably thinking, oh, did you go to the races or something?
The races,
Playing the pokies.
Yeah. And then she just said the best thing ever. She's like, oh, that's all right. You'll make it back. And that's what she said to me. And I was like, cool, I've got a winner there. So that was really
I love
cool.
that.
Like
sometimes little like throwaway comments, like realistically, like if you probably asked her now about it, I don't know it that well, so I would be just assuming, but it's probably just a throwaway comment and her way of dealing with, oh my God, I can't believe you've done that.
Yeah, exactly.
But that is like your thing of, that's a little bit of motivation to go and, sweet, I'll make it back. I'll make more.
Make more. And that was the mentality is, all right, looks like we're just digging in again. You know, it was a lot of money. I'm not saying as if like I had that laying around and spare, like that was my life savings.
Yeah,
it's not as if I had extra.
Yeah.
So I was really back to square one after working so hard for so long. Like it was pretty devastating to get to that stage. But yeah, I just sort of didn't dwell on it. I just always had hope that it would come back, and then just work hard to make more because being a victim going to do
Yeah.
about it? You just make more, right?
That's that growth mindset again.
And then, yeah, we did well over the next few years.
Then my management called me and I get a call from, they said Craig Bellamy wants to call you. And so sweet. So I met up. So firstly, actually, I met up with Frank Panisi, who's still their football manager. And then I had a phone call with Craig Bellamy. And he's like, hey, mate, we're going to bring you down here. Tell us what happened at Parramatta. All this. We spoke for about an hour. It was awesome. Like, I got off the phone. I was down in the dumps for maybe 6 weeks, maybe more. And I was sort of sulking around training, and it was just before the end of the season, so felt like I, sort of been perked up. Anyway, that must have been the week of the last season, the last game, and then we have our Mad Monday. I think I'm done. Like, I got off the phone. I'd already met with Frank Panisi, then I had the phone call with Craig Bellamy. So. When I was walking around Mad Monday, we just got the spoon too, right? So I'm going from last to first, baby. Like, just with all the boys that are really close to me. I'm not doing it to any randoms and that, but it was all the boys. And I see the new big four at Melbourne and stuff. It was like at the time there, I think maybe GI had moved on, or maybe Adam Blair might have been there. So I was saying I was calling myself the fourth member of the Big Four.
That's so good.
And then the boys were like, because they know what I'm like, obviously, and everyone was having a bit of a laugh with it. Maybe Hindy was probably snickering a little bit more than others. And then 2 or 3 days later, Mad Monday had finished. I'd been on the piss for like 2 days. And I called Gav and I was like, "Oh, what's the go? Like, when are we signing? Like, how does all this?" That was my manager.
Yeah, I've known Gav.
And he goes, "Yeah," and he goes, "Mate, Manly are keen." And I was like, "Fuck!" Like, not because of Manly.
Yeah.
I was like, "What do you mean Manly keen? Like, what happened to Melbourne?" And he goes, "No, it's all good. We're just going to have a chat to Manly as well." And I was like, "Fuck, this is heavy." Anyway, the weeks went on, and there was no chat from Manly too. Like, it hadn't. They were still umming and ahhing about. I think they had an injury, which ended up leading me to go on there.
Where are you living at this time?
I'm in Parramatta still.
Okay.
Yeah, in Parramatta. And then the Melbourne chat just left. And it was like Rennie and Willie Tonga and all those boys were just fucking giving it to you.
Have you ever had closure on that? You ever asked the question what happened?
No. Oh, as in belly?
Yeah.
No way.
Have you improved on leaning on support networks? Like you mentioned a few earlier, like there's obviously your team, there's your wife, there's your family, different things. Have you... And as I said, going back to the knee injuries, had they happened now, I would have been more proactively looking to support you in different ways. At the time, I was just young, naive, and didn't even really realise the extent of it and how big of a deal it was. Like, have you, I suppose, found ways to lean on different people in different ways when you need help, I suppose? I haven't really worded that well, but yeah.
Yeah.
You know what I'm trying to say?
I see what you're going, yeah. I've been so grateful that the right people have come into my life at the right time. And that's not by chance. It's not by luck. It's when you look back on it, like, okay, I put myself in those rooms or that opportunity, and that's for anyone. It's knowing, if you don't know the answer, you're always searching for someone that does. And it's quickly realizing who that person is and being able to outreach and say, hey, I've got this challenge. What do you think I should do? But ultimately, you've still got to take the responsibility and accountability yourself. Like, you can hear an opinion. I don't have any, I call them mentors. I've never...
Yeah, that was my next question. Do you have mentors, and how do you lean on them?
I have mentors, yes. For me, I don't have any coaches, essentially, business coaches, anything like that. The only coach I have in my life right now is helping me with my diet and training. And we can touch on how important that is. But in business, I have people and mentors that have walked into my life. And the key thing about a mentor, they will find you. A mentor, they see a little bit of themselves in you, and they're generally at a much later stage in their life, and they're genuinely interested in what you're doing, and they want to know more. They want to help you, and they want to then withdraw themselves out of the room. And one of our best mentors recently, we went through a whole restructure within our business, right? And again, any business owner knows when you first start, you become a corporation, and you've got shareholding, and you know nothing. This guy was literally living next to us, staying in our neighbour's granny flat whilst they were building their house, an amazing house in Avoca. And he was like, Mitch, what are you doing? Just interested. This is our business. And I I'd love to talk to you one day over red wine about your structure. Why? Because I can show you how, you might be able to optimize your flexibility and all these things. And he did nothing. He left that with me, right? He didn't say, come and meet me, quick. They don't push anything on you. It was up to me to one day take him up and say, right, Scott, I want to meet with you. I want to learn more. What are you talking about? That person walked into our life. We took action on understanding it, and now he's dramatically changed the way we have structured our business to allow for the future growth of it, right? Because if we have the direction, we didn't have the structure to do that. Now we do. So if I had a structuring issue or something about anything, I'd ring Scott, right? And go, hey, Scott, I've got this issue. What do you think? He'd come around. He'd sit with us for an hour. He's so amazing, mate. And those people are there. If I then find people that inspire me. I don't actually try and find other people, and I find and follow people that are sort of I can see myself in, or they're walking my life, and I'm like, oh wow, who's doing it? Marty Fox. He's probably a standout right now. He's growing an amazing brand across Australia and now the world. It's a private company. You look at that guy and you go, how are you doing this? There are only so many hours in the day. He's got a family. He's growing this business. And they're the people, that's where I draw inspiration from. Ryan Serhant, if you think about overseas, he's grown this brand in COVID like we did to now, I don't know how many people he's got. You just find those people that inspire you. So I think mentors will walk into your life as you sort of go through levels and growth, and you need to find people that inspire you. And lean a bit less on the coach thing, because I think coaches have the role for a moment in time. And yeah, the thing why I've got a coach is for me personally. As you go through levels, you actually have to become the person first before you actually get there. That's one thing I've learned, whether that's be mindset, attitude, how you show up, how you present, what you put in your body, the fuel, energy management, all those things. You have to level yourself up, because those challenges and those problems, they come at you tenfold. You think life gets easier, or, oh, great, I've got money to solve this. Sure, you do. But those problems and the waitings and the anxiety and it just compounds you. So that's where I think about it two ways. You've got business and you've got yourself, and you've really got to, I knew that I don't know diet, I don't know training, and we know a little bit, but I just want someone, and you almost want to simplify your life too. I don't want decision fatigue. I've got enough in the business to worry about making key decisions at times, and I need to have the most capacity I can. When I'm thinking about myself, I just sort of want to be told and get a direction and be like, hey, what do I need to eat? Tell me, and I'll just stick to it 10 out of 10.
What kind of advice, I suppose, for someone like myself, if I guess I'm a bit older, but around the same age as you, but just sort of coming through into the space. I'm not an 18-year-old kid doing it. Yep. What what advice would you have in terms of, I guess, growing my own presence and my own and growing the mind games?
It's always just authenticity, right? It's people want to see what social media is now. When I first started, it was a lot of meme stuff posting. People want to see faces to pages. So as long as you're authentic, then you being authentic is then different to everyone else, right? Because that's you. You can't be accused of being, copying anyone, because it's just you being you and talking. So I just encourage you to do what you want to do. Don't feel pressured into doing something just for the sake of getting likes. Yeah. Because then you're just going to start doing stuff that you don't like. Mm-hmm. And then when people come to you and say, hey, we want to sponsor the show, but you've got to do this, this, and this, you'll be like, okay, I'll do that. And you're like, do I really want to do that, or am I only doing it just to get paid? So then you're going to start hating the content that you're doing. So I've always found people go, oh, I've turned a hobby into a job. And when it was a hobby, it was you're really driven just to do it because you love it. But then you start getting paid for it, and then it becomes, oh, I've got to do it to get paid. And you lose that authentic side. So just try and be as authentic as you can, and eventually shit will come.
I love that.
Yeah.
That's unreal. Awesome. Thank you, mate. Can you give us an idea into a couple of different things that you're kind of implementing to overcome that adversity? And I'm sure every time you got injured, it was not again, I have to go through this, or it's a certain amount of time. I'm going to have to, put my head on the pillow, in the boot, on the couch, or whatever. What Netflix show am I going to watch now to sort of get me through it? What key things were you sort of implementing to, I guess, go through that adversity and come out the other side stronger?
Yeah, cool. And I think it's probably going back just to the basic thing of, why am I doing this? Okay. And I think sort of footy, why am I doing it? And I guess it's that's drilled in from you from a pretty young age, and that's probably the values that my parents drilled into me as sort of the reasons why and things like that. So I guess it's important to lean into those and to really understand that, not just from footy, but anything. And I think it's that's probably what got me through some of these. To be fair, being an Oz, I've probably been more injured than I haven't. Take that how you want. Made of glass. But I think it's sort of going back, understanding why, setting sort of targets and what I'm working towards. I know when you're injured or out and stuff like that, it can seem like the end of the road. There's nowhere there. But I think it's sort of setting really small milestones and actually looking at things like, my hand, for example, you'd be out, can't do X, Y, and Z. But then I think that's probably where I picked up running and stuff like that, is trying to turn adversity into something else and sort of lean into that. Where when I was younger, like when I first did my leg, I probably didn't look at it that way. It was all negative.
No push-ups in the boot?
Mate, no. Yeah, just a couple of sit-ups. So that's great. But you mature and sort of look at that side of it, which I think is probably I've had to go through a few, which has taught me that sort of thing. And some people probably haven't had that adversity. But I think it's looking at sort of unpacking that piece.
Seeing all these people that I used to watch on YouTube and on Twitch turn that into something productive where it earns them money or helps them improve their life by giving them a community and outlet. Like, I wanted to be a part of that. So that was my main factor when I started streaming, and I stopped at 18, 17 after doing it for a week because my mates were taking the piss out of me. The next time I did it, I would have been 20, nearly 21. Didn't tell any of my mates, just started playing old Call of Duty
What made
games.
you go back to streaming?
I said, you know what, I really want to do this.
Okay.
And I've quit everything I've sort of done in my life at that point. Like, I was in university, like completed high school and everything, but like wasn't playing footy, was playing basketball, but I just always felt like deep inside that I could do this. And I had people just randomly tell me out of the blue, guys that I worked with. I'll never forget, shout out Demron. I haven't spoken to him in years, but he told me, mate, I think you'd be a really good streamer. And that always stuck with me. And then one day, I was just like, fuck it. I'm gonna start doing it. I'm not gonna tell any of the boys. I'm just gonna be completely anonymous. And he started.
How are you anonymous when your name's Hectic Fred?
Yeah, but I'm not anonymous.
Oh, you just weren't posting it on social.
Wasn't posting. I was just streaming.
Yeah,
right?
okay.
And I wasn't posting on TikTok or anything. No, didn't tell any of my mates for 3-4 months. Like, I was just said, I'm going to do it and I'm never going to stop.
And wait, so followers coming? How's this at the start? Like on Twitch or Kick?
Yeah, I was streaming on Twitch.
Yeah.
Wasn't posting anywhere else. Literally only streamed on Twitch for about the first 3 years. I didn't post a single clip on TikTok or anything. Mate, it is really tough to start streaming because you have no one in there, right? And I didn't tell any of my mates. A lot of people, they start streaming, they got a few friends in there. I had nobody. Everything I got was organic, and I slowly just started honing my craft because you just.
So did you get randoms pop on every now and then? Did you get excited when you get one on there?
Mate, you get so excited, and then they go away, and then you're like back to 3, and I'm like, okay, this is gonna take a while, and that's why so many people quit so early because it's draining just talking to yourself. You know what I mean? Talking to yourself.
So for someone who doesn't really understand the streaming side of it, so how do you monetize that?
So the way it works is, so you stream and you get something called affiliate, where it's like you stream 20 hours over a month and average 3 viewers and have 50 followers, and Twitch will give you affiliate, which allows people to subscribe to you, in which you will get a 50% cut of the subscription fee.
Which people pay to subscribe to.
Yeah, it's optional. It's optional, right? And they also have like donations, stuff like that. But basically, that's how you earn revenue. But it's obviously a very slow grind because you got to build that connection with the audience to get for them to even want to sub to you, right?
Did you see Justin Bieber broke the record for the largest first stream ever?
No, I didn't. Initially, it was Drake, I think.
Yeah. Bieber streamed like yesterday or the day before.
Oh, good on him,
this week, yeah, and and he didn't tell anyone. He just did it.
He just did it.
He just did it, and
it
ended
spreads
up
like
being
wildfire, man. But it's a crazy world, bro. It really is, and it's like the scale of it is massive. And even though I was always a consumer of shorter form content on YouTube, like I was never really into live streaming. And I still, like, I rarely will watch a live stream for hours upon end, but so many people do. And I just really enjoyed streaming, right? And over time and over many years, I just got a lot better at it and improved, and I just was never satisfied, right? And then I was in lockdown 2, right before, we had just come out of the first lockdown. State of Origin was coming up. We were so G to watch it with the boys, and I probably averaged like 20 viewers around this time, which is pretty, like, it's really good for me. I was so stoked at the time. Never posted a clip on TikTok. I got to the point where, we're in the second lockdown, just started. I'm so mad because we're missing out on State of Origin, and I was like, I'm going to watch this game with my mates one way or another. Screw Gladys, right? That was my mentality. And I saw other people streaming rugby league on Twitch and not getting in trouble. And I said, you know what? I'm going to take a gamble. I'm going to take a risk. It might work for a couple of weeks, but I feel like I can do a better job than anyone else doing this. And I just streamed and put my first stream State of Origin. I think it was 2021 game 2. I think the Blues won from memory. And I posted my first clip, which was a disallowed try that Addo Carr had set up for Tommy
Was it
Turbo.
the game in Perth?
I can't remember which game it is, right? But I think it was game 1 or game 2. But basically, Addo Carr's just signed for the Dogs, so I'm glazing him. He's made a line break on the wing. I'm G'd up. I got nothing to celebrate at this point because we are the worst team in the league.
It still are, but yeah, go on.
See, waiting for it. Well, I gave him that one. Everyone's going to agree with you there.
That was Ali. So how do you, and what advice would you give people in terms of like, there's like a fine line between like managing like the integrity of it and then the access piece. So obviously, like there's probably a bit of give and take. I've heard like, say, for example, Buzz Rothfield refer to it as like, he's covered for certain player managers before around certain staff, and that's why he gets certain access to certain things. And how do you manage that like fine line between like you want to continue that access, but there's also the integrity piece of like you don't want to sort of throw someone under a bus, I guess.
It's really hard. Like clearly journalists have contacts. A lot of those people are agents as well. If you're going to write about someone's client and they don't think it's a fair and accurate representation, then clearly they're probably not going to give you the big interview with that athlete or tip you off into stuff. I think I'd say to athletes as well is like, it's the athletes that treat you well that are like, it makes it a bit harder to skewer them if something happens. Like if someone's being a prick, I don't have a lot of sympathy towards them. If something goes wrong, you know what I mean? But it's the guy who actually comes up and says g'day and is a reasonable bloke and is fair. And someone else has said it the other day. I think it's a really interesting point. It's like, don't look at reporting as positive or negative. Look at it as fair or not fair. Like sometimes a story can be negative towards you or your club or your family or whatever. But if it's accurate, then you can't complain. Yeah. And that's all we're trying to do is just be as accurate as possible. But there's certainly games like in the industry, like often I'll get player agents who will ring me up trying to tell me a piece of information that might not be totally correct to try and drive up the price of their player. Yeah, for sure. And it's just sort of the hardest bit of what I do is also just working out what's true and what's not. Yeah. Like I'll get tips from people all the time about something and more often than not, it's not quite accurate. Like it's halfway there, which is good and it's a starting point, but our bar for accuracy just has to be so much higher because you get something wrong badly, then very hard to come back.
Have you ever filed anything that was horribly wrong?
No. I've been really not lucky because I would, touch wood. That's my biggest fear. Yeah. And sometimes I've written stories. I've been holding off on a story because I'm making 1 or 2 extra phone calls and someone else will break it. And you go, I probably had enough there, but no, I've been really fortunate on that front. But again, I think you make your own luck. I haven't had any bad ones. I mean, like clearly I cop a bit of flack on social media like any reporter. It doesn't compare to athletes, so I'm not going to whinge about it. But like, I get more annoyed if there's like a typo in a story or something a really minor detail in a story that is wrong. That just annoys me more than anything.
Yeah, okay. I quickly just want to touch on your rep career. Is it 2013 you played your first game?
Yep.
2013 for the Blues. Talk us through that. Talk us through finding out. Talk us through what you spent the coin on.
Yeah, that was the first year I got told, that was when they used to announce it. So there was talk that I'd get picked. I remember the final game before the announcement, Robbo told me afterwards he knew that I was definitely in, but then basically they used to announce it on TV or radio or whatever, and I remember I was at Maroubra taking the dog down the park, and then my phone just started pinging and going nuts, and then I was like, oh, they must have announced it into camp with Loz. I still remember we got beat in the game 3 in the decider by 2 points. Obviously there was a fair Queensland side at that time, but we won the first game. Had a really good game, the first one down in Sydney. We were probably dominant for most of the game, played on the front foot, and I remember going, far out, this Origin isn't as...
Was it you and Junior in the half?
Yeah, me and Piercy, and probably got a rude shock game too, because like everything, as a half playing on the front foot, things are easy, and then probably went up to Suncorp and spent a lot of the game on the back foot, and that probably hit me in the face a little bit of, oh wow, this is what it's about, and and then I remember just getting done by 2 points. I remember I think Thurston scored that try where he went out to the left, and then we basically shut it down, and he stepped back a couple of times and just had a couple of guys stop and sort of come over, and that hurt. And Origin was a big thing for me, is I never wanted to be a guy who just played Origin. I wanted to be successful at it. I told a story before. There was, I think when I was leaving, was it Cronulla? Or it must have been when I was at Cronulla and talked about it. I actually had a meeting with Warrington, a guy at Warrington, and Warrington offered me a big 4-year deal or something to go over there on really good money. And I remember talking to my manager, and he said, mate, it's big money and that, and I said, mate, I don't think I can go, because we'd lost 3, 2013, then 16, 17. We'd lost those 3 series, and I said, mate, that was something that just icked at me, and I said, mate, I don't think I can go. I think I'll have too many regrets. And my manager was like, what if you don't get picked? What if? And I said, well, if I don't get picked, I don't get picked, but I don't have any what ifs. Yeah. And like we said before about grand finals and that, you don't want to have what ifs. And it turned out, signed at Penrith, got picked in 18. We won the series. 19, we said, was a tough year.
No, let's talk about 19. So game 1, you don't get picked.
Don't get picked.
I was at the Suncorp game. We got beat. I think Cody was picked at 5'8". Cody then gets dropped for game 2. You get picked for game 2. Walk into camp. What do you tell Freddie?
I said, did you lose my number, mate? So, it was one of, I understood. The funny thing was, we'd won in 18. Obviously, Nath had debuted in 18.
Yeah.
I love the fact, I'm very proud of the fact that I was playing there and then could take pressure off Nath coming into that arena for the first time. Very good mates with Mitchell Pearce, who I'd obviously seen get absolutely brought through the ringer around Origin, and understood that that's what goes with State of Origin, that halves, when it's good, you take the credit. When it's bad, you take the blame. That's part and parcel of it. I feel like I can deal with that quite well. But, it was sort of something, 18 to be able to just sort of let Nath go, mate, you just do you. I'll look after this. I'll run everything. You just do you. Always get used to it. And my biggest concern in 19, I understood why I didn't get picked, but I also knew what I brought to the team and what I did for the team. And, my biggest concern was that Cody, they were picking him on debut. Not a knock on Cody as a player at all, but I just knew as a guy on debut, you'd just be look after myself, do my sort of job, and a few things. And I just, that was my biggest thing, that then obviously they'd be Nath and that would be put under the pump, and about, that. So
Well, it
anyway,
also ended up being a really cool series because game 2 you got picked with Nath, and Nath was injured for game 3, and you got to play game 3 and win the decider with Piercy.
On
So
on the bell. So
Yeah.
that was cool, and we came back, and I think that was sort of my understanding. Like to walk into the thing and just sort of say to Freddie, it was more.
break the ice.
Yeah,
wasn't it?
you don't want it to be this weird thing. Like I understood the decision. Like we lost, like we said, we lost 7 straight in a row. It's a big call. They were always going to pick Nath because they just blooded him and he was going to be long term.
Yeah.
So I understood why. But yeah, I just didn't want it to be that, and I didn't hold any hard feelings, so it was just a way to sort of break the ice. And, even then, probably one of the biggest compliments I heard, like Greg Alexander say when I was sort of leaving, basically talk about that. And he said, mate, I've never seen the way, the camp just changed when Jimmy walked in and, walked in and said basically, let's go, I'll do the job, knew what I did. And we went and had success. And, that was cool to hear from a guy like Greg Alexander, who I really respect his opinion. That was a pretty big rap. So.
Unreal. And that also ties back to what we were talking about earlier around like the nuance around personalities and treating people like people. And you're not just a football player, you're actually like, there's different personalities, there's different things people bring to the group. It's not just what you're doing in the day-to-day on the field.
Yeah, 100%.
Who's been your favourite guest you've had through?
It's a really good question. A few stand out. Like it was interesting. And then this is probably not a favourite guest, but Matt Lodge was really interesting to come have in here, and it was the first time he told his version of events. That was really interesting. The guest that means the most to me is probably Todd Carney.
Yep.
Because at that point you go and have a look at the picture of the first episode we did with him.
I saw it. He looks like a different person.
He looks a different person. He's about 30 kilos more overweight. He was just coming off the back of stopping drinking and all that, and he wasn't necessarily in a good place. Now you look at him, he's in an amazing place. He's got this job at the Titans, he's working at Triple M, he's doing all these things. And he came in and did the show, and he was brilliant. I found it was the most interesting chat ever. I think he's probably the harshest the athlete that was the harshest
him and Piercy.
Yeah, 100%. Mate, you pissed in his own mouth, and you're going to sack him for that. I think Ezra Mann,
I was literally
nearly kills a family and then is allowed to play. It's just insane that Todd Carney.
It's the same with Piercy though. Piercy were in a private residence.
Yeah.
Yes, it was afters and whatever. But at a private residence, had the dog. I don't condone it. It's not great. It's an embarrassing moment for him. He admits that. But it was 130 grand or something in 12 weeks.
I know.
I don't care if you're on $1 million or if you're on 100 grand. 130 grand is still 130 grand.
A lot of money. It's a lot of money. It's crazy, especially for rugby league players who he's on $1 million, but
you got 10 years.
Yeah, it's a huge fine. And Todd openly says that the Byron interview changed his life. Because after he did that interview, a lot of people reached out to him. A lot of opportunities sort of started to come from that. Obviously, after doing that, I sort of realised how good a speaker he was. So I got him involved in Triple M and doing footy calls and stuff like that. So that is the guest that means the most because it actually had a huge impact on his life. And it kind of made us realise this actually can make a really big difference to people when something like that happened to Todd Carney, it sort of made everything feel a lot deeper than it was. On the first day, it's just podcast, chat, good chat. But then when that changed his life and now look at where he is now, that's pretty powerful.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
That's unreal. Obviously, it was a little bit different back in the day when you retired, you were working anyway. But in the way it's gone down the professional angle, the sport, what advice do you have for young people transitioning out of professional sport into the workforce?
It's really hard given AI and all that sort of stuff is, but go and get some skills behind you or some training. Maybe go and do, and the NRL do this with long-serving players. I don't know about younger blokes, but they'll do some career assessment type stuff. And it depends whether you want to, I find it really hard to work for anyone else. I've got to work for myself or own the company because then I get to go and do whatever I like. I suppose if I had my time again, I would have
probably stuck at the business coaching because I was going quite good at that. And if I waited one more year, I would have got the job at Canterbury as well. That would have been different.
Yeah, okay. Why is that?
Oh, because that's when they had the salary cap thing, and I was already doing work at the Leagues Club and the football club, and
Okay.
and I was a logical.
Yeah, okay.
But by that stage, I'd worked out I didn't want to be CEO of a football club.
So, but that would have been like, it would have been about the time, because that was 2002,
Two.
and you went in 2002, South, right?
Yeah,
2003?
but I quit like 3 weeks after they
Okay.
got the salary cap thing. So yeah, it was all done and dusted by then. Yeah.
Yeah, that would have been a shit show to put that together anyway.
Sorry?
That would have been a shit show to put that together.
No, I don't think it would have been, because good people, good, and the salary cap thing, that was just because I remember looking at in the Sydney Morning Herald when they wrote what they got paid and the extras, they go, none of them really deserved to get paid any extra, because I knew what the market was worth at the time, and because they're all young blokes and coming up, they're probably on the right money.
Yeah.
It's just that someone's ego got in front and said, "Oh well, I'll go and give you all this extra," and
Yeah, okay.
they got sprung.
Overarchingly, what are you most proud of in your career?
Footy wise,
Yeah, footy-wise, sorry.
I think just even playing one game, like I think that's amazing.
I do
Like
too.
if anyone, because like we had a RPA get together, and there was a few players that say, "Oh, I only played 10 games," and some people are like, "Oh, I only played 40 games," but it's crazy that you even play one game.
Yeah.
Like there's a very, very small percentage of players that play. It might be a bit higher now with new teams coming in and
Still small in
academies
the
and
big
stuff
scheme of
like that.
things,
But
right.
even like Central Coast only just recently have started like academies and stuff like that to get boys up there, and there was still a really small percentage of Central Coast players make the NRL. So I think making NRL is a massive thing for me, and even just like admitting that.
Yeah.
Because I work in schools and kids give me shit all the time. Like, you suck as a player. I was like, well, I played.
Yeah.
Or I go, how many NRL tries have you scored? Like,
Yeah.
it's just like it's a good little joke, but it really is. It's crazy to even play one game.
Yeah, love that. And even like I can speak from to be like, as I said, that 16 year you skyrocketed in terms of how much you improved. But like the fact that you're the only player from our age group, I'm pretty sure on Central Coast that made it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think anyone else
I
played
don't think,
NRL. Dill played a bit of cup and stuff. And
Yeah,
there's a few-
he made some 30s. I think he made
Yeah.
30.
Yeah, but I'm pretty sure he's the only one that debuted,
Crazy.
which is crazy.
Actually, yeah.
My first real big event was Nanshan China Masters, and I flew over there and played that. That was $1 million event. I made the cut, ran 50th, and I made like maybe $5,000, and it probably cost me 6. And I was
Are you
like,
pouring
"Fuck
schooners
yeah."
still at this stage?
I was, yeah.
Yeah.
Throughout the season, I was.
Yeah, yeah.
And then the week after that was Perth International. That was a $2 million event, European tour event. And I rocked up there and, I remember Ryan Haller said to me, this is like a bit different, just so you know, like there's going to be cameras, crowds, just do what you're doing. Like, I had a lot of support and like there's a lot of nice guys on the tour that will help you out, especially back then. And I just rocked up to Perth and it was awesome, like a proper tournament. The greens were unreal. It was just, and I had my mate Barnesy caddying for me again. He flew over for it. And I still remember just having like no real club sponsor. Like I had like a mate's driver. I had
really?
like clothes that, Andre gave me a couple of shirts. One day I wore a Callaway shirt. The next day was a Cross shirt. The next day was like a Pennant shirt, like whatever. And I made the cut in a $2 million event. So I'm running probably 30th or 40th. So I'm guaranteed a check. So I'm pretty happy with that. Third round, I shoot, 2 or 3 under, and it was a pretty tough day. So then I'm running like 12th or 15th. So I'm lining up for a pretty good week. But for whatever reason, my mindset was, I was like, I'm only 5 or 6 back. Like I could probably give this a bit of a nudge. And in the final round, I played quite good. I got paired with Bo Van Pelt, who won the year before. He was a marquee player.
Yeah.
And Soren Hansen, who's had an unreal career on the European tour. And we had the cameras and Channel 7 following us to the tee. And it was like a dream come true. I was so excited. I couldn't stop smiling. I was like just laughing the whole time. But I was like, how good is this? And then I played great that day, obviously, because I was so excited and just so happy to be there. And I shot 4 under or something, 3 or 4 under in the final round. And that
pushed me up to tied third for the week. And I had no idea how much money I was about to make. Like, I did not do the calculations. All I was like, I'm just going to go as low as I can, and I want to try and finish up there. I think I've got a chance. For no reason whatsoever, I had that belief that I was like, I think I can do all right here. And so I finished third, and I go in the players' lounge and, you know, have a sandwich, and I'm sitting there drinking a Coke Zero, and Evan Bassett goes, mate, do you know how much money you've made? And I was like, I don't know. He's like, because at the time I was running probably 4th or 5th, and it's a tough finish.
Yeah.
He goes, you're going to make 70 or 80 grand. I was like, no way. How good's that? And then Danny Willett was coming in, and he's just bogeyed the last. He goes, that's another 15 grand you've just made there, because he's dropped back to tied 3, and then someone else made a bogey. He's like, you're going to make over 100 grand. And sure enough, I made $103,000. So I've gone from donut to 103,000 at 21. And I was like, how good's this? Like, I was just so stoked.
That's unreal.
I was shouting the beers for the boys that night, definitely. And so that was a really cool experience. And to have that is my first big event that I played in. I got so much confidence out of that.
For sure. Do you think like obviously there's a motivation piece of it. Like every person who's ever played sport dreams of doing something great, and you're not dreaming of playing a pro-am at wherever.
Yeah.
You're dreaming of playing in front of cameras and people and all this sort of stuff.
Yeah.
Do you reckon, because you'd like watch this movie so many times in your head growing up, like when you're hitting those hundreds of balls at Tukley at home, grinding when no one's watching, you prepare. You're imagining this is happening, like with the cameras and everything at that time.
Yeah,
do you reckon you're preparing for yourself for it?
Yeah, absolutely. And that's the thing that you're doing, because when I think looking back now, and even for my career where it's at, to fall in love with the game and the sport and what you're doing is the most important thing, because you're looking at it and you start thinking about it and rehearsing it, and it's, you know, you'll hear about, you know, not saying I'm great, but you look at the actual greats of any sport, and they're obsessed, and they talk about the obsession, and they don't stop thinking about it. They just can't stop thinking about it. You can't really teach those people who are amazing, like a Michael Jordan. You can't teach them that, because they're just obsessed. That's how they're wired.
Yeah.
But I think as well, when you're a bit younger and you have those aspirations, no matter who you are, like if you're aspiring to do well and you want to, you're actually playing it in your head. So when you get the opportunity, like, you just grab it with both hands. Like, it was, like you said, in that flow state, I couldn't stop smiling.
That's
like, I'm on the first tee and it's worth so much money, and I didn't care. Like, I was just where I wanted to be. Like, it wasn't about the money, and it's never really been about the money for me. Like, I just wanted to play. I love competing and being, like, doing well, and I love playing golf, and, you know, that's what I really enjoy doing. So
I just think the West Tigers can be such, I've said this on Playing It Simple, like, I think the West Tigers can be such a great club if we would just let ourselves be.
Yeah.
Like, I think we've actually got the ingredients to be a fucking phenomenal club. And we need both. Like, this is the thing, like, this whole West Balmain thing, I would never want to see either of those clubs back as a sole unit in the NRL, because like Campbelltown, the Macarthur region is where we are getting our juniors from. It's the catchment. It's one of the fastest growing catchments in the NRL in Australia. If we use that to our advantage, we could create something Penrith-like as far as the juniors coming out of there. But at the moment, so many of those juniors go to either Penrith or Canberra or Bulldogs. It's just, if we can make that work, we'll have something. But then at the same time, I believe the heart of West Tigers still is on the hill at Leichhardt Oval.
Yeah.
Like, there's nothing like it. It's 95% West Tigers fans. It's like the crowd goes, it's like so loud. It's the best.
It's a scary place as an opposition fan.
I would never want to give up either of those. You know, we need Campbelltown, we need Leichhardt. I would love to stop playing home games at Parramatta for a start, but at the moment, Leichhardt and Campbelltown aren't up to scratch corporate wise, and we need the revenue and the dollars. So I understand playing at a stadium. I hope that once Leichhardt's refurbished, I hope that Campbelltown gets a similar makeover. I hope that we can go back to playing 50-50 at either. And I would always want to play 50-50 at either. People say you need one home ground. I think that's kind of the beauty of what sets the Tigers apart. And both grounds have a great hill. we're just a hill people. You can say that. I was saying it all the Tigers fans yesterday on the way out. I was like, I'll see you on the hills, you know?
Yeah.
On either of them.
Yeah. Love it.
It's, yeah. So, yeah, I just think we need both.
Talk me through like the preseason. I think you like that you kind of elevated your game a fair bit in that little period, right?
Yeah,
Or-
it was rookie year in hindsight. It's probably the best thing that's ever happened to me for my cricket. In that, I got there, I was huge, like fat. I was 108 kilos, 110 kilos, 108 skin folds.
Yeah.
Like I was massive. And I remember doing a preseason first day 2K time trial, which everyone does. And we're running around and I'm thinking like, Hughesy stitched me up. So I've been living with Hughesy for a couple of weeks. And I said, what do I need to do to get ready for day one? And Hughesy's like, just go for a couple of 2Ks, mate. Like, so here's me just waddling around like Lane Cove, waddling, going, oh, I nailed that one in 15 minutes.
So what?
Like,
He's not doing them with you?
yeah, no, he's like, you'll be right, because he's done a preseason before.
Yeah.
So I get there day one, I start running around the SCG, and I get there and there's this lap goes around. I'm behind Josh Layla. And I remember Murray Ryan goes 8 minutes 12 and then hoses JL, like hoses him. He's like, mate, that's not good enough, blah, 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 all this. Here's me, got one more lap. So I've come in behind him and had one more lap.
Fuck.
And then I've got like 9:56 or something, and I'm like, I don't know if this is for me. Like that preseason, like we had Clark, Watson, Stark, Hazelwood, Haddon, Bollinger, Smith, Warner.
Hughes? No, he was an SA.
No, he was at SA. I'm probably missing someone there. Like
Kawaja?
I don't know. It wasn't with us, but there was that was who was at training. Like Hads. Like it was kind of a bit starstruck, to be honest.
Yeah.
And then I've pulled out that 2K in the first in the first crack. But look, it got me. It showed me what I needed to do to be a professional cricketer, right? Like it was a pretty big kick in the teeth. It was like do something, change something, or you're not going to make it. So I think the thing I regret now from that rookie year is not asking enough questions.
Okay.
And that's something you're probably trying to pass on to our rookies now is they're your teammates. They're no longer your idols, or they're no longer the guys that play cricket on TV. They're your teammates.
Colleagues, yeah.
Like they're the people that you see every day. Chat to them. They'll chat to you. And that's something I probably rue is that I didn't talk to them enough.
Yeah,
like,
okay.
Like I had Moses, for instance, he's still in the rooms, but he was in the rooms. Like all these guys are such unbelievable cricket knowledge, and I'm just sitting in the corner, A, shitting myself, and B, going, fuck, how good's his cover drive? Like,
yeah.
And
so
then
that's interesting because of like what we discussed earlier in terms of like, because from the outside looking in, you wouldn't have, I understand what it's like going into those bigger rooms and because like I haven't done it at a state level, but like you've gone up into different levels and you kind of go, I don't know if this is for me a little bit. And you're seeing guys like who are treating, say, first grade like it's fucking just a little kick around the backyard or hit around the backyard. And for me, I was like, fuck, this level is a lot. This is high.
Yeah.
But it's interesting that you got to that point and then you went, like that, I'm not gonna be like the locker room guy at the moment. And not that you weren't in a mate way, but you just didn't want to ask enough questions.
Yeah,
Interesting.
I think it's because I still had Billsy and Hughesy.
Yeah.
So I still had, and Harry. Like Harry's around. Like
he was too.
He was in there. So I still had like my safe space.
Yeah.
And like I gradually got along with more people, obviously, during that. Like, Dwarsh and I have kind of been always, he was a rookie when I was a rookie. Like there's people that you kind of connect to for those kind of reasons. Like Nick Maddinson was in there. Like a sheaf on a Wednesday night would always be Maddo, Hughesy and I, and Conway would come. So like just those little things that you get to know. But yeah, it's probably not that I didn't ask the questions at the time. It's probably I didn't keep going. Like you'd get encouraged to say, "Hey, go speak to Nev."
Well,
Nev
I was
and
about to
Hads.
say you've got Brad Haddon, the Australian keeper, Peter Neville, the one who replaced him after when he retired, and
Ryan Carter. So there's four of us, and then me. Yeah.
Oh,
so it was full on, but